So it'll be a good opportunity to explore your client in that note. All right. So let's talk about Axijet. Axijet is our simplified disability product where you have the option to help your client up to $6,000 of coverages. And it's a simplified product, which means there'll be no medical, no underwriting. It all depends upon the client's health and the answers as per the questions. Now, why is this important? As I've been talking again and again, we always speak about life insurance and miss talking about living benefit products, which can be critical illness, which can be disability. We have a huge potential in these market because talking about life insurance, almost 60% of Canadians do have life insurance. And yes, thanks to all of you who are helping Canadians with life insurance to keep their family safe. But what if they are not able to work? What if they're sitting right in front of their family and they're not able to make any financial gains? These are your clients that you have left uninsured or you have left the business on the table. Talking about critical illness, 2 in 5 Canadians will develop cancer in their lifetime. Still, only 8% of Canadians do have critical illness insurance for them, which means this is your client, this is your business that you're leaving on the table. You're leaving your compensation, you're leaving your client uninsured. If you see the disability numbers, 1 in 7 Canadians are disabled at any given point of time. Still, only 3% of Canadians do have their individual disability insurance. I always talk about it. Please start talking about disability with your clients. I agree, not 100% will buy this, but even if 50% will buy this, you have protected your client with a comprehensive coverage in that case. And it will also help you increasing your compensation. Why is disability insurance important? Because what we generally do, we see what uh, a generic mindset at. We always insure our house, we insure our car, we insure our mortgage. That is the three assets or liabilities or reducing asset, whatever people like to call it as. But we always insure all of them. If we are insuring our assets or reducing assets or liabilities, why are we not insuring our own self? Now, don't think we are insuring our own self by having life insurance. Yes, that's important because you're helping your family to stay protected financially. But by not insuring your own self, you are leaving the benefits. God forbid if you're not able to work, how will you sit in front of your family? Right? That's tough. So which makes it more important to insure your own self. Being disabled is unpredictable. It can happen to anyone and everyone at any age. But if you buy a right coverage, it will be the right decision to have it at the right time. So your ability to earn a living is your most important asset. Probably worth much more than the value of everything that we own, as I said, about our house, our mortgage, cottages, or investments if we have any. So it is important to have the coverage to maintain the same lifestyle that we're living right now when we are hale and healthy. If I just put it to numbers, so risk of being disabled for 3 months or more before the age of 65. If you see on the right hand side, these numbers denote disability while we are young. It's quite high. Start from 58%. Almost 60% of people are disabled or gets disabled at the age of 25. Yes, if you see the numbers are reducing by the age, but this shows that yes, by the time we grow up in age, we get sensible, we start taking care of our own self. But at that time, what happens is we are more tend towards falling sick, which means that whenever we're talking to a client about a disability product, we should always talk about a comprehensive product. Comprehensive means that you should be helping them with disability product in case of accident and disability in case of illness. Because most of the advisors talk about only protecting the client in case of accidental coverage. Sometimes clients say I'm in good health. Sometimes they think that nothing will happen to me. At least I should be protected only in case of accident. But that's not the comprehensive coverage that we talk about. Yes, if the affordability is an issue, you can always start the coverages with accident, but later, please speak to the client and move to the client to a comprehensive product coverage where you can have accident and illness, both coverages. Now, talking about the product, a simplified disability insurance, which requires no medical exam, because simplified coverages means there'll be no medical, no underwriting. It'll be just simple questions that are asked by the client, and the client answers the questions. Based on that, they are granted the coverages. Our Exigent product can be given to the client to protect them against any disability in an accident or illness, and also soft tissue injuries. Now, people do get confused between soft tissue injuries and accident. There are two different issues. Soft tissue injuries are generally your ligaments, and fracture as generally is when it is involving a bone. So ligaments are different and bones are different. So yes, we are insuring you for disability in case of accident, disability in case of soft tissues, and also disability in case of illness. We offer you 24 hours coverage option and outside of the workplace. What outside of the workplace works is some of the clients say that I do have WSIB coverage. I don't need the coverage in my workplace, but I want myself to be protected outside of my workplace. Yes, you can offer outside of the workplace protection to those clients, but we generally recommend to have a 24 hours coverage because WSIB covers you at work, which means that you should be performing your duties or your tasks at your workplace. Just by your presence at your workplace doesn't mean that you are working. WSIB claim may get denied based on that. But if you have a 24 hours coverage options, you are protected, whether you are at work, you are not at work, you are playing, you are on vacation, you are traveling, whatsoever the reason, but you will be protected if you have a 24 hours coverage option. With our disability products, we also offer you overhead expense insurance for all our self-employed and business owner clients. With overhead expense insurance, you can also insure their business expense. If they pay wages to their employees, if they have any utility expenses, if they pay rent to on their business, if they have any automobile that you're using for their business purpose, you can protect all of that under overhead expense insurance up to $6,000, which means if your client is self-employed, you can help them up to $12,000 of coverages by AxiJet, 6,000 on their personal income and 6,000 on their over expense insurance. On Assure and Go, most of our products have riders on them. We do have options of riders on Evo as well, right? Same is followed by Assure and Go. So for AxiJet, we offer you 4 riders: accidental death and dismemberment, accidental fracture, extended medical care for an accident, and travel insurance. So people who might have heard me when I was speaking about Axi 7 covers you for top 3 riders that are here, gives you a standalone coverage as well. Travel insurance is exclusively for AxiJet. You can only buy travel insurance as a rider from us. We don't have any standalone travel insurance coverage. But I will be talking about Axi 7 going forward. I just have 2 slides on that to tell you what all you can be protected with. For these riders, I'll give you a snapshot while I do the illustration to show you how good are these riders for your client. Our disability product, whether you go with AxiJet, whether you go with the Superior, or you go with Universal Loan, we insure you for your total disability and we insure you for your regular occupation. The minimum that we insure you is for 24 months, but we also give you the option to extend your regular occupation from 24 months to 60 months, which is 2 years to 5 years. On the same note, we also give the option to take the benefits at the time of disability for 2 years, 5 years, or up to age 70 in case of accident. But since we are only insuring you for your regular occupation and total disability, if you are insuring your regular occupation for 5 years, but you want your benefits to be paid up to age 70, yes, you can mix and match, you can do that. But what happens is on the sixth year of disability, not the policy issuance, but at the time of claim, if your disability continues to 5 years, well, we will be paying you because you have taken your regular occupation to 5 years. But on the sixth year, we will go back to you and we'll see in case if you're capable of doing any reasonable occupation. If yes, we'll stop the benefit and last you go back to work. If not, the benefit continues till the time the doctor says you are disabled, whether be it 70, whether earlier than that. But yes, you will be insured. Talking about our soft tissue injuries, I just given you a brief earlier. Couple of soft tissue injuries that we include as strain, sprain, muscle ligament contusion, all those soft tissues. But if you're helping your client only in case of accident and soft tissue injury, which I just said, you are helping them with up to 42% of the claims that are paid on disability. Right? Just to give you a small example on that, we this product accident is very famous among truck drivers because we do include their soft tissue injury. So what generally we do is we only help them with accidental coverage and we miss talking about illness. But for truck drivers, the major claims come for their L5 burn, right? Because of the long sitting hours, they start developing back pain. And that is not covered either as a soft tissue or as accidental disability. That is covered under illness. And that's the reason I'm talking about why you should be talking to your client about a comprehensive coverage which should include accident, soft tissue, and illness, all three. But on soft tissue injuries, we do have certain limitations. Talking about our occupation class. Within the Cell Alliance, we have bifurcated our occupation class into 6 different categories. Starting from C, which is the most riskiest class, where a person is working more than 20% physical work, or they might be working in an industry with a high risk of injury or illness. Then we move to class B, a bit safer than class C, 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A. 4A being the most safest class. Talking about our soft tissue injuries, we have certain limitations on that. So if I talk about class B and class C, we give you 30 days per disability, lifetime maximum of 180 days, which means in case of disability, you can only claim benefits for 1 month if you fall in our category B or C. For class 1A, 60 days per disability, lifetime maximum of 180 days. Any soft tissue happening to class 2A, 3A, and 4A, it will be a maximum of 36 months. So please do keep this in mind when you're talking to your client to update them that in case if you're talking about soft tissues, this is the limitation period on that. Let's talk about the product. So talking about Axejet, a simplified issue where no medical underwriting is required, just a short questionnaire which client can answer. In case of accident and soft tissue, you just have to answer 3 simple questions. In case if the client is also including illness part, you need to answer 9 more questions on that. It's a guaranteed renewal product up till the age of 70. In case if you are planning to work till the age of 70. 24 hours coverage option, we already spoke about it. The greatest part about the product is that you get this benefit as a non-taxable monthly benefit. You don't have to pay any taxes to CRA. Whatever money you get is all yours. We also offer you return of premium option. How does return of premium option work is if You have paid the premium for minimum 10 years. You have the option to take your money back, and 50% of the premium will be refunded back to you if there is no claim. Or let's say there's a claim, but the claim amount is less than the 50% of the premium that you have paid, we will still be refunding you the balance which is left, which means a good option in case if the client thinks that nothing should happen, nothing may happen to them, they can always exercise this option and they can pay extra premium on that. I already spoke about it. We have the option to extend your regular occupation from 2 years to 5 years. And yes, I said we insure you for your total disability, but we also give you the option to add partial disability option by paying extra premium. Now, for the product, who should be your target market? I can read all through these names, but what I will give you a simple solution is anyone who is working, anyone who's in any kind of financial gains, and if they don't have any coverages, you should be speaking to all of them to get their disability benefits. These products will help them cope through those difficult times when they are not able to work due to any accident, whether at their work premises or outside, if they have a 24-hour coverage option. If they are not able to work due to any illness, this will be the product that will help them sail through those difficult times. And yes, among all of these, for truck drivers, we have an exclusion. I would not say exclusion, I would say a benefit that in case of any disability, for the first 12 months, we don't ask their income documents up to $2,000. They can take the benefits without showing the income documents. But after 12 months, if the disability continues, we will be requesting their income documents. Talking about our immigration guidelines, so for our Canadian citizens, permanent residents, there's no exclusion limitations. Whatever they want to buy, they can buy any coverage with any waiting period, any benefit period. The clients who are on work permit for more than 3 years here in Canada, they fall in same category as our Canadian citizens or permanent residents. But anyone who's on work permit less than 3 years have a waiting period of 119 days, and the benefit will only be paid for 2 years. But the good part is the same policy can be modified once their work permit reaches more than 3 year mark. You don't have to cancel the policy and take another one. No, you can modify the same policy by giving the relevant documents, and you can increase the benefit period and reduce down on the waiting period. Who all are eligible to take this policy? Anyone between the age of 18 and 69, if they hold any remunerative work for at least 8 months per year and 21 hours per week. If they are not limited in terms of any movement or their daily activities due to any injury or illness. And if they don't have any chronic neurodegenerative disease or a permanent physical or intellectual impairment. I spoke about the last point, which is if they are a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or if they've been living in Canada for more than 3 years, they are good. But if they are less than 3 years, there are certain exclusions and limitations as we saw in the previous slide. Now, the good part is if you're helping your client in case of accident and soft tissue injury only, point number 2, point number 3, and point number 4 will be the 3 questions that you have to answer. Talking about point number 4, which talks about chronic neurodegenerative disease, a quick glimpse of that. So whenever you're talking to your client, again, a good slide to take a picture of. So you should have these disease handy with you when you're talking to your client. So you should know, you can always ask that, is the client suffering through any of these? If not, you're all good to help your client with it. Now, if the client is going through any of the medical issues, I would always recommend you going through our Superior program, because with Superior, we disclose each and everything to our underwriter and let them decide Do the client qualify for certain coverages or they don't? But uh, it should not be a good idea to leave the client uninsured without bringing it to the underwriter's knowledge. Now, this was only about accident and soft tissue injury, but if the client is looking for a comprehensive plan where they want the illness to be covered, great. We are a bit versatile on that as well. Talking about our height to weight ratio, we include larger sizes. We accept larger sizes, I would say. Talking about the criminal record, we talk about only last 12 months. And same work for our if the client is absent for the last 2 consecutive weeks of work, but there's no consideration for the weekly consumption of alcohol. Talking about type 2 diabetes, anyone, we do insure type 2 diabetes though, but if their medication has not been changed in the last 2 years, and if they are in healthy conditions. Talking about musculoskeletal system or nervous disorders, I would highly recommend talking these two clients and putting them to superior. Because as I said, if they have medical issues, they will be brought towards the underwriter and then let the underwriter decide do they qualify or they don't qualify for those. Now, there are people who will say that we don't need the coverages. And since you being the advisor, if you go out in the market and talk to those clients, there will always be objections. I have jotted down a couple of objections that you can talk to your client and you can answer them. First and foremost will be I would say, biggest one is always, I do have my group insurance. Or the government gives me grant in case if I'm disabled. Great. But group insurance covers you for a limited amount of coverage, which means that maximum that you get is only 66% of your income. And that to a taxable benefit. Though you are paying it from your salary, but it's a taxable benefit. If you get the same coverage on your individual disability, that will be a non-taxable benefit. So you don't have to pay any taxes on that or any money to CRF. Whatever money you get, it's all yours. Talking about government plans, there are certain restrictions depending on the severity of disability or the place of disability happened. As I said, being at your workplace doesn't qualify you for being disabled. You should be doing your appropriate work if you are insured. And then only you qualify for WSIB. Also, if I talk about group insurance, and if your client says that, oh, I do have group insurance, 90% of the clients are not sure what coverages do they have from their workplace. They do talk about having coverages, but they never read about it, that what coverage do they have. So whenever they say that I do have group insurance, please tell them, let's talk about the table, bring your documents, and we can go through it. And then you can guide them that why they should be looking for this product. We already spoke about return of premium option because there are clients who always say that, oh, nothing will happen to me. Right? But disability is unpredictable. It can happen to anyone. You might have seen people being on disability by when they even clear the snow, right? Slip and fall happens in Canada. But we do have this option for return of premium option, which gives your client 50% of the money back if nothing happens to them. But as I said, even if they are on disability claim and if the claim payment is less than 50% of the premium paid, we will still be returning them the balance amount. The next option is for the young clients, nothing will happen to me. I'm just young, I'm entering a job market. Should be the right coverage for these kids or the young generation, I would say, because they don't know they are entering a job market, what kind of risk they'll be facing. It can happen to anyone, right? And being young, it will fetch them Lot less premium as compared to if they want to buy it at the later age. I have money saved up. No one can predict how long the disability will be. Yes, you can save money for your retirement, you can save money for your kids' education, you can save money for your vacation funds, but you will not be able to save money for your disability. Not knowing how long the disability will be, what your expenses will be. So it's a good idea to always have disability coverage by paying a small portion of your money instead of using your savings for that. Sorry. That was all about AxiJet. Now, as I said, I'll be having two slides on Axi 7, a quick two slides, and then we will be moving forward and talking about illustration as well. Talking about Axi 7, as I said, we have 5 accidental protection coverages for you, which are on the center of your screen. And you can help anyone and everyone with these 5 coverages if they are in Canada for at least 12 months and if they have their provincial health cards. Both the requirements are mandatory to help the client. You can help anyone right from the birth all the way to age 74. Majorly, if you see these 5 benefits, will only be covering them in case of any accidental benefits. Now, the good part about this product is if you go to your left-hand side on the flexibility column, if you read the last line, we have paid the claims within 7 days guaranteed. And I personally know a lot of advisors who have gone or who have taken the benefit on this product specifically. How do these 5 benefits work is the minimum that you can get your client in case of disability $700 per month, or you can increase it to $1,400 per month. AD&D starts with $70,000, accidental fracture 7,000. Extended medical care will be having a lump sum of $100,000 to protect against all your benefits like your ambulance transfer, physio, private nursing. You can claim all of that up to $100,000. And hospital benefits start from $70 per day, goes all the way up to 1050 per day. Now, if you go with one unit, which I start with 700, 70,000, 7,000, all of that, it'll be just $7 per coverage for an individual, irrespective of the client age and gender. Less than 2 coffee a month, you can offer this to your client. Works in every ways. You get your compensation, your client is insured, you get your points, and everything is there. And your clients is protected. Your clients are protected, sorry. Now, for Assure and Go, people are still confused. Is Assure and Go different and Evo different? No, we are one. Both of the softwares are available on our advisor center. You can log in from advisor center directly. Simple as you go on Evo, just below Evo, you will see Assure and Go. Click on Assure and Go, and you will have access to our software. I'll show you how you can do it. But before that, I want to put forward about fast starts. We do have fast starts every Thursday, 7 in the evening. We for all of them who are new, who want to understand our software, our products, it'll be a good idea to attend our fast starts. First 2 Thursdays of the month, we talk about life insurance. Third Thursday of the month, we talk about investment. And fourth Thursday of the month, we talk about living benefits. So if you or your downline, any was interested in knowing more about our product, our software, anything, feel free to reach out to me or Malika, and we can help you attend fast starts as well. Please don't raise your hands. I see a couple of questions there. I will be answering the question before I move to software. Do we have plans for state planning? I'm not sure if you're talking about disability. If we don't offer anything on state planning on disability, we're talking about disability today. Anything specific, reach out to me or Malika, and we can answer your question on that as well. For disability insurance, what if my client does not have a family doctor yet, but wants to, yeah, walk-in clinic will work. As I said, it should be through a physician, not a family doctor. If I said family doctor, yes, it should be family doctor. But if you don't have family doctor, your walk-in clinic will work at time of claim for sure. How do we differentiate between critical illness and disability? So you don't have to differentiate, as I said, both are different products. You're talking about differentiating to a client or the product. Product is already differentiated because critical illness pays you for only named critical illness under the contract. With Industrial Alliance, we cover you for 25 or 4 illnesses. With disability, there are no named illness. It can be any and every illness when your doctor is saying that you are on disability. I think I've already answered about soft tissues. What about new joiners who don't learn about disability insurance? Yes, as I said, they can join on fourth Thursdays, which I think is next week. Please ask them to join Thursdays, so in the evening, and they can learn more about disability. Or if you have any specific team, if you want to do any Zoom trainings or an in-person trainings, do reach out to me or Malika, and we can always discuss on that as well. Now let's talk about the software. Give here. Uh, all right. Perfect. So I can see it's already shared. So this will be the main screen once you open our Assurance Go software. Yes, we have made changes to Evo, but Assurance Go still remains the same. All the products on Assurance Go are still the same, still there only. We have not migrated them. It will take still some time to migrate our Assurance Go products also on Evo. So talking about Assurance Go, first thing is top left-hand side, if you see this library, you have access to all our contracts right here. I would recommend reading you the contracts for a detailed understanding on the soft product. If you have anything about soft issues, about any other illness that can be claimed or not, you can read through our contract. You will have a detailed understanding on that. You have your brochures down there for your client or for yourself to read through. Talking about Axejet, if you click on Axejet, we have your rate guide, advisor guide, and client flyer. Client flyer, you can email directly from here. No need of taking printouts or anything. It can be emailed directly to the client. Scroll it down, go to forms, start there, administration forms and claim forms. Administration forms will be all the forms that you need in case of any endorsements, any declarations, any amendments, whatever you need, you will find your forms right here. So you can scroll it down there. Post this, if you go on the top center of your screen here, you will see My Business tab. If you click on My Business tab, you will have access to your last 30 days of rolling business, which means any in progress applications, any enforced policies, or advisor alerts, which is the fourth column out there. You will see all your applications where we need any documents, any clarifications. You will see that in advisor alerts. So if you are doing business on Assurance Go, please visit My Business tab. You'll have access to this for your last 30 days of rolling business. If you want to access your entire business that you have done with us, you can always go to the last section, which is My Reports. This will give you access to all your business that you have done with us, all your renewals, all your amendments, endorsements will be available right here on your report section. All right, so let's go back to dashboard on the main screen. And here you go on Get an Illustration on the top left. You have your simplified products, you have your underdone products. You see your access live here. I would recommend using Evo Web now. It is faster, easier to do it from there, and better to track. Don't use Term Life here. Please use Evo for all your life applications now, and don't use Assure & Go for any of your life applications. Either Access Life or Term Life, Evo is faster, easier for you. For today, let's talk about Axejet and create a new client and hit Add down there. Just taking a client, I'll take John Carr. I'm taking a male here, and I'm taking client who is about 36 now. My client is eligible for employment insurance. Yes, you can always check with your client whether they are eligible, and based on that, you can always put yes or no right here. My client is not a truck driver, but yes, I'll come back to show you what difference will it make if your client is a truck driver. Then I have to choose the occupation class for my client. I spoke about 6 occupation classes that Industrial Alliance have bifurcated into. Talking about class C, the riskiest class. So you can read the definitions down here, which will tell you which category your client should fall in. But if you're not sure, even after reading these uh, definitions of the occupation class, we have our list right here. Click on this list, it will give you access for about 704 illnesses there. Now, if you know your client's occupation, it'll be a good idea to just type it and see. For me, I'll just see a very versatile profession, which is teacher. Now, you might think that if your client's a teacher, put him directly through 4A. So that will not be the right thing to do because there are a lot of professions which use the same word as teacher. A horse riding teacher, a horse riding, let's say, instructor, fall in 1A category. Physical fitness, 1A. Education institutions like dance teacher, 2A. Physical education, 2A. So you always have to look through the occupation list that which will be the right category or right fit for your client. Your education institutions will fall in 4A. And same way if your client, let's say, if he drives, so every driver will not fall in same category. The truck drivers may fall in different category. They can fall in category B, they can fall in category 1A, and they can also fall in category C based on what are they driving. Private taxis will fall in category C, like your Uber drivers and all. So please speak to your client in deep about their profession to understand what occupation fits them right. For me, I'm just putting up a teacher and I'm taking a 4A and I hit apply here. Go down, you have to look for their employment. Are they a business owner? Are they an employee or they self-employed? Whatever you choose, we give you the option to look into their income in their T1 journal that what income they should be making, and that you can put up right here. Whatever income you take, it should be their net income that you are putting up right here. In my case, my client is an employee, and on line 101, she's making $70,000. You can always check with your client about their net income and you can proceed by doing it. Then you come to their coverages. First, what you're looking for, 24-hour coverage option or outside of non-workplace, which means outside of workplace. I spoke about it. If your client wants the coverages outside of workplace, you can always do that by clicking here, but I would always recommend going with 24 hours coverage option. For my client, I'm taking 24-hour coverage option. Then your regular occupation, how long you want your regular occupation to be insured, 2 years or 5 years. My suggestion will always be the longer, the better. You never know how long the disability will be. So it's always go with a higher coverage. But in case affordability is an issue for your client, you can always move back to 2 years, but let them know what you are doing here. Once you choose their regular occupation, that how long they want it to be covered, then you choose their benefit period. Remember, I spoke about 2 years, 5 years, and up to 70. So the good option will be 5 years that you can choose because whatever happens, if your client is disabled, they are paid to disability benefit. They are paid up to 5 years, but you can also take the coverages up to age 70. How will this work is for the first 5 years in case of disability, the client is paid the benefits because they are insured for their regular occupation. But on the 6th year, we will check with the client if they are capable of doing any reasonable occupation. If yes, the benefit stops. If not, the benefit continues up to age 70. But again, the longer the benefit, the higher the premium will be. So in case if you want to keep it shorter, you can always move it to 5 year period. Now, we took $70,000 of the client income and we took yes for the employment insurance option as well. With $70,000 of the client income, my client qualifies for $4,000 of monthly benefit. But my client is also getting employment insurance. So based on that, my client can only receive $1,300 before 119 days. which means I will go with coverage one and I'll put $1,300 here. And then I'll choose the waiting period, whatever my client wants 0 days, 30 days, or 119 days. I'll go with 30 days, presuming people generally save for a month. So after 30 days, the benefit will start with $1,300. Now, what is coverage two? Coverage two comes into picture once the employment insurance will stop, which will stop after 119 days. After this, the employment insurance will stop and the client will get the benefit from IA total of $4,000, right? And this is only in case of accident and soft tissue injury. Now, if you want to give comprehensive coverage for your client, please do include illness into it and just replicate the same numbers here, which is 5 years of benefit, 30 days, and a 19 days, and it'll go with the same amount that you saw up there. Now, if this premium that you see here, if it is going above the client's affordability, you can always play around with the numbers. Instead of giving 2,700, you can always make it $1,500. You can always change this as well to $1,500. If not, let it continue. Just check with their client about everything and help them so that they can have the right coverage with the right affordability. Now, once you insure your client with a comprehensive protection, you can increase their benefits by helping them with a partial disability benefit. Just have to click on this box. It will auto calculate the premium for you. Return of premium option. I spoke about both of them. If the client is not looking for these options well enough, you can always remove them. Then comes the last part, which is your overhead expense insurance, which your business, if your client is self-employed, if they're looking to protect their business expense, you just go here directly and put $6,000 here and $6,000 here. Why are putting two different options here? Because first one is only in case of accident and soft tissue injury, and second one is for illness. If your client is not self-employed or business owner, and if they don't want these coverages, simply remove it or don't do anything to them, and you're good to move forward. The last part of the coverages will be the riders. First will be AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment. You can go up to $350,000 of coverage, depending if your client needs it, because most of the clients go with AD&D with the life applications, so they don't want it. If yes, you can always add the coverage here. Travel insurance, a great rider for those who are frequent travelers. You can insure yourself and your spouse, yourself and kids, and your entire family. If you're looking to insure yourself, it'll be just about $10 that you can get the coverage, and this will cover you for $5 million of lifetime coverages and $5,000 of trip interruption and trip cancellation. Accidental fracture, two different options, $5,000 or $10,000. Let's say I take accidental fracture of $5,000. It'll be just about $4, but this will not pay me the full $5,000. It depends upon the percentage of the bone. What bone is fractured, I'll get the benefit as per that only. The last but not least is our accidental extended medical care for an accident, which is just about $2.50 and covers me for about $100,000 in case of any accident, and protection for any ambulance transfer, physio, private nursing, all of that. If your client needs all of them, yes. If they don't want, you can always move whatever they want and remove the others. Now, if you see, this will be your monthly premium. If everything goes well on your left-hand side, you can start with your application from here. If not, you can always play around with the numbers, whatever you want to make it for your client. Now, before I let you guys go, I have a couple of questions. Let me just see. What if the client person have Alzheimer's and ALS? Would they affect the client coverage type of illness? So with disability, we talk about the client's illnesses, not about their family. So you can always apply for that. That's perfectly fine. What if my client qualifies for disability insurance based on his current job and he becomes unemployed after 2 years? How the contract will work? And we don't insure your job loss, but in case if the client is unemployed of 2 years, we will still insure them for the first 12 months. After that, the policy can be cancelled if the client is not able to find a suitable job for them. If they find a suitable job, you can always do the modification on the application. But yes, even after they lost their job, we can insure them for 12 months, only if they are insured while they were working. Is corporation income covered under disability? So, no, we always talk about your personal income, not your corporation income. Uh, so, there are exclusions on soft tissue injuries. For class B and C, it'll be 30 days per disability, and for class A, it'll be 60 days per disability. But maximum they can claim up to 6 months, depending on different disability every time. What is the difference between Access Life and Evo and Access Life? There is no difference between Access Life on Evo and Access Life on Assure and Go. We always recommend using on Evo now, but because it is faster, easier for you to track as well. Not all will be moving to Evo, correct? The accident, cancer card, disability. Yes, the disability products are not moving to Evo as of now. They remain on Assure and Go for now. Is the wisdom we can apply for Access Life? We are doing disability today, so let's stick to that. Please refer to the immigration guidelines for that. What can be covered under our expense? So anything like your business expense, which is your rent, your utilities, your accounting expenses, if you're paying wages to your employees, if you are using any automobile for your business purpose, everything related to your business can be covered as a business overhead expense. How many days of covered on the travel rider? 60 days can be covered. So it means if you're on vacation for 60 days, you will be covered under travel insurance. That's all from my side. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or any of our team members. We will be happy to assist you on that as well. If not, have a great week. Happy Tuesday and happy selling.